Hi guys, a very good afternoon. Masquera say. So we are back so that we talk about Susan Mutami and Simba Chikanza's fight. We want to look at it and see the reason why they are fighting so that we can have a conclusion. We need to investigate and see who is who. Basically, because of Susan Mutami's connections, we cannot deny that she has been used by the system for a very long time. She has been used, she was dumped, she was used, she was dumped. And she is also probably working for the system. But that does not dismiss the allegations she is raising. Because what is important at this moment is not what she is doing right now. What is important is what happened when she was 15 years. That is what is very important at this moment. So we are not looking at what she is doing. We are looking at what happened when she was 15 years. So a 15-year-old cannot be in any intelligence cycles or security cycles. It means they recruited her and she had to benefit from there, from the sexual activities. It's probable that that is how she rose up the ranks if she is connected to any state security apparatus. So we need to look at this issue and hear why Simba Chikanza is after her. I'm going to play this audio, and after this audio, I will tell you why I believe that, or I will expose the fear of people like Simba Chikanza. So you have to listen to the audio, then we get to the final story.
And we believe that these people are victims. They are victims in the sense that they can, their welfare requires us to prioritize.
So Simba Chikanza is talking about the people, the VVIPs, being victims of Susan Mutami, including her relatives and so many people. So let's get this audio, let it continue so that we can get to the conclusion. I just wanted to clarify the victims he's referring to here.
Their safety requires us to prioritize here. And Susan Mutami, for several months, was dodging questions surrounding who exactly she is. She was getting access to our hospitals as a nurse across the country. Semono Arines, first as a doctor, INZD doctor, Dr. Chai, right? And then also she was being titled by many a nurse. And in actual fact, we have newspapers in Zimbabwe, we have the Newsday newspaper calling her a nurse. And those things, they were really crucial. I'm wanting to alert our viewers, viewers and listeners that because of this, we had to take extreme care because, after you have identified that you have numerous victims here, it's not just the person that you're working on. My victims, you have to really, you have to work. And it wasn't easy for us to sit down there and gather and take this interview, that interview, also at the same time endure so many threats from left, right, and center, threats from Emerson Mnangagwa's side, and also even threats from Susan Mutami herself. So that is another cluster there, and we had to really take time on it. And then there's the other cluster of victims that we identified. This cluster was that of people who we noticed that were in danger of being smeared by Susan Mutami, of being falsely accused, of being incriminated by Susan Mutami, people who she could easily put into trouble unnecessarily. And she even made threats even on Twitter, threats against opposition activists who are based in the diaspora. She made statements that were state level. I mean, the only people who would know such content were people who were deep in not just the CIO, but the military intelligence. And many remember here the William Chinyanga case at the Old Bailey in London, the case that I followed for over 2 years, that I embarrassed, I dismantled the agenda that Emerson Mnangagwa had against the people of our country through a Zimbabwean who was harassed in the name of William Chinyanga. Susan Mutami had that case already way before. She had announced it a year before it had even been sat. She had announced the whole agenda embassy to attack opposition activists from CCC who are based in the diaspora, get them arrested, get them incriminated over false charges, and get them deported. It's a strategy that has been used by the Sri Lankan government against activists who are in the UK. And it was also used even by Muammar Gaddafi back in during the time of Tony Blair, where Gaddafi would strike secret agreements with the British government to arrest activists who are to just take them judicially take them from their homes, just get into their houses and take them from Zimbabwe and put them, like in this case, during Gaddafi's time, families were taken. There is one classic family that this man managed to sue the British government. This man was taken from his home with his family, with his kids, and put into an Royal Air Force jet and flown to Tripoli during Gaddafi's time, because Tony Blair had struck a corrupt deal with Muammar Gaddafi to arrest all activists who have got refugee status, who have got now who are not even British, who are now British citizens in the UK. Get them arrested, fly them over back to their country of birth. And this man that I'm talking about here in Libya was flown into Tripoli with his family and thrown into a jail. He was only freed when Gaddafi was toppled in a coup. In a protest that was NATO assisted and all that. But hear me, that whole plan, a secret dirty deal that Mnangagwa had entered with the Boris Johnson administration. Susan Mutami knew it. She even announced it on her Twitter portal. So this is another cluster of victims that we identified. I can see someone there saying some of the things you're including in your intro are not necessary. Because what about who deal victims? And you must understand that the state system is not that easy. System you must understand, if you are really diligent and I want to check. When we work on our stories, story out there because embarrass Mnangagwa. No kind of Mnangagwa describe about yet. We're journalists, we're not Twitterists. We're dealing with human life here. And the cases that we have worked on this news network, they're really deep. The operations of that this news network has exposed, they're deep. If you are based in the UK, right, and you're one of those people who got refugee status in the United Kingdom, even if you've got a British passport, you will understand what we're talking about here. What I mean. Na ivo vana Susan Mutami varonga game ravo akatoi announce pa Twitter pake and aimunosheka gorapera. And she was inside Zimbabwe. Akatos announce Zimbabweans akawanda mukuto, and she even boasted, she threatened. She said, look, do not criticize me, because many of you are going to be deported very soon. So understand here that the Susan Mutami case, rape, whatever here, it's very deep. So I've given you, that's the other cluster there of victims. A cluster of people who were in a plan. Now Mutami, now Owen Muda, the person who is the spine, Susan Mutami, Owen Muda Nube, one of the most violent men in the history of our country, who switched off the internet in January 2019, got over 50 women raped, 17 people shot dead, including Tinashe Choto, a footballer. Yeah. He is the spine, yes, who's one of the spines, the very spine, yes, Susan Mutami. And another one, and that's why you see she never criticizes. Have you seen her criticizing July Moy and Owen Muta? She even named, she even talked about, I think a child has got one of Owen's, I think it's called Owen or something like that. That's how close she is. So you need to understand, this is a deep state operation. When we looked at her case, we identified all these victims. And we had a big, massive folder, a big dossier here, a state dossier. Mnangagwa, not just Mnangagwa, but Manmake as well. July Moy of the Pomona, the corrupt Pomona deal here, the one that is robbing Harare residents. So, where are we? Where are we here? So in your introduction in the third cluster, I think it's cluster 5.
So Team Zimbabwe, I think you have heard Simba Chikanza speaking about Susan Mutami, and he has raised a lot of issues, and we need to address the issues he raised here. Number one, he spoke about Susan Mutami having a son, Anonzi Owen, and I don't remember that. I don't believe could Susan Mutami and Anonzi Owen. I don't. So you can actually see that he is misleading there in terms of Susan Mutami having a son called Owen. Secondly, we need to know that Owen Mnangagwa is also fingered in the abuse of Susan Mutami. And the question is, if he is fingered together with Emmerson Mnangagwa, and July Moyo has also been fingered in terms of how they operate with President Emmerson Mnangagwa. So basically, in my view, I don't believe that there is anything with which Susan Mutami is or has been planning with people like July Moyo, people like Owen Mnangagwa, etc. So basically, what is happening is that we have an issue where Simba Chikanza is saying Susan Mutami claimed to be a doctor, and also at a certain point claimed to be a nurse. I believe that that was the media which misrepresented those facts. So Simba Chikanza did not prove or did not give any proof to the effect that Susan Mutami claimed to be a doctor or to be a nurse. But okay, Anzi, I can't hear anything. Is it that everybody is not hearing me? Can you can other people please confirm if you are hearing me? Let me check from my side if I'm. So can you please confirm if there is no sound? Please. So can you please confirm if there is no sound? Okay, there is sound on my side, so I need to continue. So I think Vegetables, Larry, you need to fix your sound. William Lole confirmed that indeed he can hear me. So basically, what is really happening here is that if we are to look at the issue of being a nurse, I have not seen evidence proper evidence from Simba Chikanza's side to actually say Susan Mutami claimed to be a nurse or to be a doctor. So he would have presented that evidence so that people would take him seriously. And on another note, let's talk about the issue of extradition of activists. The issue of extradition of activists, I don't believe that Susan Mutami had anything to do with it. Why do I say so? If she spoke about it and if she exposed it, I don't believe that she was part of that plan. Why? The way the CIO works in the nation of Zimbabwe, they have secrecy on key issues or issues of concern. But I don't believe that they would go low to an extent of exposing what they are planning, except there is somebody within them who is working for a certain faction and who is leaking information to the other side. So in that case, if that indeed happened, I believe that Susan Mutami gathered information from her numerous maybe boyfriends who are part of the people in government. Like she has dated the deputy ministers, the ministers. She also dated people like MPs. So being somebody who is close to or who has dated the Minister of Foreign Affairs by that time, you can actually see that she was so connected to people like Wanaoko Mpanganyama, and these are the people who are in the security clusters. And that is not something new. That is a fact. That is something which is in the public domain, something she has admitted to, which means whatever which happened in between, basically, she might have exposed the critical information or crucial information, which we don't need to attack her, but to thank her. Because those activists, if she had not spoken about it, those activists would have been deported. So basically, by Simba Chikanza fighting her, in my view, he is fighting her just because there is information which is sensitive and which is critical. And they are in fear that if she continues like this, she's going to tell a very important story which will compromise the top leadership or some people, even a lot of people in diaspora who claim to be activists. That is the reason why they are in fear. That is the reason why they are coming in full force to discredit her. Because her story is not of today. Her story is when she was 15 years, between 2003 to 2007. That is the period which is very important, because the period before she left Zimbabwe is very, very important. That is where we need to look at. Stackers Lemoyo. And so how far? How many people so far? How many people are attacking Susan? Okay. So far we have Themba Mliswa, we Simba Chikanza. These are the critical people who are on the forefront. We have people like my opposition leaders like Linda Masarira. They've come out guns blazing, and they're after her. And she has been put together with Themba Mliswa with that audio we played on this platform, or we posted on this platform. She has been implicated as well. So you can actually see that the connection of people who are attacking her, these are people who don't have anything to do with her. Simba Chikanza does not have anything to do with Susan Mutami.
Zimbabweans in the nation and around the world.
Simba Chikanza does not have anything to do with Susan Mutami. Simba Chikanza. I don't see the connection in this matter. Where is Simba Chikanza connected in this matter? So you can actually see that basically people like Simba Chikanza, these are people who come with stories and who are probably on the payroll of the state. Why? Look at how Simba Chikanza reports and how he does his work. The way he operates is so so different to the journalists we know. So we have people who claim to be journalists, but they are not journalists. Why? I want to tell you this. There are people who fled Zimbabwe, not because somebody was after them, but they created an impression that there are people after them. And they left Zimbabwe. They did so only to create a situation where they can leave Zimbabwe and be in the diaspora. And right now they are operating within the borders of the diaspora. And what they are doing, these are the people who are poisoning people. These are the people who are actually leaking sensitive information. These are the people who are selling out. These are the people who are creating groups of people, who are organizing groups of people who are fighting the change. We all need. And Simba Chikanza is probably one of those people. He's probably one of those people because he is not looking at this issue objectively. What we need from this case is not the status of Susan Mutami. What we need from this case is the reality and the truth. We need the truth of the matter, because telling the truth of the matter is going to save Zimbabwe. The reason why we are coming and speaking is because these people, they have been robbed into a different issue where they want to bring change in between now and 2023. They want to bring something new. And to bring that something new, they are working as a group. And when they work as a group, they discredit some information, they create information, they discredit it for certain reasons. And it's Simba Chikanza and people like Gambakwe, they have joined that group where they are working tirelessly hard to make sure that they derail the 2023 elections. Their agenda is for the people of Zimbabwe not to reach the 2023 elections. Because if this man does not answer, we don't know what is going to happen next. What if these people are going to create an environment where they will implicate Mkuru? Because we now have people speaking on behalf of the president. What is going to happen next? Let's say he's implicated. Another information of Buddha. What is going to happen next? That is what is very important. So I believe that Simba is not doing justice in this matter. Simba is actually working for somebody. Simba is actually working for somebody. We remember a certain expose he did where he spoke to General Chiwenga, and the general was speaking as if he was an agent, yet the general himself was speaking. So we have questions on why is it that they only take calls from Simba Chikanza? If you call them, they don't take your calls. They only take calls from Simba Chikanza, and that is questionable. Is he the only journalist with access to the presidium or to the executive in this nation? He is the only person with access to them. Call them. You will see that they will not talk to you, but to Simba Chikanza, they will speak to him, they will talk to him. He has joined the crew Yana Auxilia Mnangagwa, Yana Temba Mliswa, Mary Mliswa, the likes of Gambakwe and so forth. This is a cabal, a group of people. Where Simba Chikanza is coming to exonerate Ningi, Anakupara Mosha, Ningari clean. How did he know Kuti Ningi very clean? How? So basically, my call to the people in the opposition cycles, they must be very cautious. When you are dealing with people who claim to be pro-activists, you must be very, very cautious. Why? Their agendas are different. People are coming here with different agendas to spearhead their own agendas. So what matters at this moment is not what is happening, is what happened when Susan Mutami was 15 years. And that is what is very important. So this side shows he's trying to bring here. He's trying to create an impression where activists in diaspora, they are going to be silent, or they're going to be quiet. Why? They will say, if we continue to speak, we don't know what has been planned. Anytime we can be deported. That is the impression he's trying to create. And that is a wrong impression. That is a very, very, very wrong impression in my view. I don't believe that Zimbabwe at this moment it does have that capacity to extradite or to strike a deal with UK to bring back the activists in the UK. I don't believe. So you cannot attach people who have committed crime. You know what happened, the issue of Chinyanga, he tried to rope in. The problem which happened is that Chinyanga went to the extremes. He went to the extremes of being an activist. He went to the extremes those days. Somebody was supposed to tell Chinyanga that you have gone far. When you are doing activism, you have to know the boundaries of whatever you are doing. It is good to do activism, but you must know the boundaries. We cannot call for terrorism. That is not proper. Why? We don't want terrorism in our country. We want peace in our country. We want a smooth transition in our country. The people who are calling for terrorism in Zimbabwe are probably the people who are linked to the regime. Why? ZANU-PF is on record saying kana tikadyiwa na Chamisa tinoita hondo. ZANU-PF is on record saying that tikadyiwa na Chamisa tinoita hondo. And these are the same people who are calling for terror here. Look at Tinashe Jonas. He was calling for terror while he was in South Africa. He sold out a lot of comrades who joined him in South Africa. A lot of them even disappeared in South Africa. A lot of them. There are people who joined Tinashe Jonas who can't be accounted for right now, who are in South Africa. Why? Because they joined him. And at a certain point in time, akanyepa azorowa azoita say he came pagambakwe do button azorowa azoita say, but look at the car Tinashe Jonas was driving. Have you ever asked yourself why the South African government didn't act on Tinashe Jonas while he was calling for terrorism akagara in South African soil? Have you ever asked why? This is the same grouping yevanhu vana Simba Chikanza, vana Tinashe Jonas, vana this guy Wembudzu. This is the same group. They talk together, they dine together, they do whatever they are doing together. So there is a team which is on the information side. Vanenge vachisa propaganda, number one. Number two, vanenge vachisa false hope. Number three, vanenge vachinyepera vanhu. They come with different crafted stories which never materialize. And the question is, why are they doing it? So basically, Simba Chikanza is just a hired gun and is basically doing the Lord's work for somebody. And the reason why he is raising this issue of extradition is because he is trying to justify at a certain point if he goes against the laws of the UK, or if it is found that he has failed to honor his refugee status or his refugee terms. And when it comes to him being deported, he's trying to create a grounds for him to fight the UK government and say, takambozvitaura, takamboti zvakati, takamboti zvakati. So basically, I don't believe Simba Chikanza is in his right senses at this moment. If Susan Mutami tweeted about it, there is no need for you to speculate. This is not information yekuti wakaenda ukanoidiga somewhere ukabuda nayo. This is something chaiswa in the public domain, and everybody has been given an opportunity to view or to listen to that story. So basically, what we need as the people of Zimbabwe right now is the response on the allegations. We are not on anybody's side. We are on the Constitution side. What we value more important is the Constitution. The Constitution of the country says if you violate somebody's rights, if you rape somebody's rights, you have the mandate to go and answer the allegations. And that is what we are calling for. We are not on anybody's side. We don't hate anybody's side. When we are talking about this story, we don't hate anybody. What we need is justice to be served. And we don't need somebody to come to protect the people who are being fingered or who are being accused of doing something. We need people who are going to answer for themselves. These are adults we are dealing with. Adults must answer for themselves. These are responsible people, people with means to go to hold press conferences. They have control of ZBC 24/7. They can go for ZBC anytime and make a public announcement. These are the allegations. This is the response. Why are they not doing it? They can even write a letter and publish it to say, this is the letter, this is the position of the president. That is what we need as the citizens of Zimbabwe. We are not demanding more, we are not demanding less. So basically, I believe that Simba Chikanza is doing injustice and has come to make sure that he defends the indefensible. And the question is, why is he defending? And why is he the only person who is given or granted access to the leadership of ZANU-PF? So thank you very much, Lord Bailey. And after he said, Dan, let's not forget to register to vote, guys. Yes, we must not forget to register to vote. Let's register to vote in our numbers and make sure that we overwhelm the ballot in 2023. That is our only hope. So anybody who is coming with another agenda of trying to discredit the voting process is somebody we need to account for. We cannot allow that. We can't allow that. So, Team Zimbabwe, this is it. I don't know in your view, how do you view this? But I've given you my opinion. We have played the audio. The fear of Simba Chikanza is based or is premised on the United Nations or the United Kingdom deporting him because of the stance he has taken. The reason why Simba Chikanza had to do that is because he took a wrong stance, and he has been questioned by a lot of people to say, why are you taking this stance? And that is the reason why he has come to say there is a machination of deporting my activists and so forth. While there are people who went into the diaspora on the account of being activists, but they are not. So what is happening is there are a lot of people whom we know. Some of them, they are in the diaspora and they pretend to be activists, while they support ZANU-PF. We know them. So the warning is, if you are in diaspora, you have to make sure that you trust the people around you. You trust the people, everybody around you. Don't give sensitive information to these people. When you plan together, do everything together, but go and eat kumba kwako, enda unodyira kumba kwako. Never eat in their companies, because we don't know who is who. We don't know who is sent. We don't know who is working for who. So make sure that if you're in the diaspora, be safe always. Make sure that enda unodyira kumba kwako. You're working, you have money, eat from your home. Because this is how a lot of people are being poisoned in the diaspora. And people like Simba, they create various stories that will address the issues facing this nation. So, Team Zimbabwe, I believe that I have responded to these issues, and I have spoke about my views and my thoughts regarding this issue. I don't know your views. I don't know your thoughts. In the comment section, you have an opportunity to say whatever you want. So let's see tonight at 9 p.m. Let's go live. Team Botaura about the POV bill, which is in Parliament. So subscribe. Make sure that you turn on the notification bell so that you don't miss out. At 9 p.m., let's go and let's talk about the POV bill in Parliament. We could discuss why at this moment we need to look at it. So I will bring all the facts and all the matters surrounding that bill on this platform. Then we have a discussion. We can have sort of an hour discussing about that. Okay, Namans, I don't think Simba is into what we are taking him to be. He is an activist, but he wants to prove a point to Susan that when he investigated the issue way back, she refuted, and he wants clarity on why. You know what, Namo? If you have worked with the victims, there are different victims in families. Somebody might see somebody murdering someone and might keep quiet for a very long time. Somebody might see or might get raped and gets quiet. The reason why people are quiet after abuse, the reasons are different. If you check on the previous broadcast which we had, Team G40, Never Masquera say, when Never Masquera say addressed this issue, he addressed this aspect correctly. You have to check that. We did it today. Please check for that publication we had on this platform, where Never Masquera say addressed the whole issue. So what happens is that you don't just come womira muharare muna first wobva wati zvakati nezvakati nezvakati nezvakati. There are fears. You are dealing with big people here. We are not dealing with school kids. So when we are dealing with high profile people, it's difficult for anybody to just come and say it. Mai Mugabe chaivo chaivo pavaitaura nyaya iyi vaitaura nyaya vachinyenyeredza. VaMugabe chaivo chaivo pavaiadresa nyaya dzaiitika when he addressed the other issue of the other guy akanzi jamba akajamba nepawindo yamajonga, vaitaura vachinyenyeredza. He didn't want to be direct. So we cannot ask Susan to say, why are you telling your story today? We can't do that. We can't. Why am I saying so? It's because the person accused has not responded. At this moment, he has not responded. So we cannot say to Susan, why have you done it today? We can't do that. These are serious allegations. And these allegations must be answered to. And we expect an answer. So we cannot question Susan to say, was those in us? We wait for the accused to come out clean and prove that indeed handina kuzviita. That is what we need. What we need here is clarity, not from Susan. Clarity must be sought from the president. Simba Chikanza must be directing his efforts to the president. At this moment, Simba Chikanza must be directing his efforts to the president, not to the victim. He must be asking the president regarding this issue. He must be holding spaces, asking the president to answer, to say, Mr. President, here are the allegations tabled by Susan Mutami. Can you clarify your position? Can you tell your position? So Simba Chikanza has gone to call Themba Mliswa onto the platform and said, Themba, come and respond. And Themba Mliswa is going there to respond on behalf of President Mnangagwa. And as who? As who? Themba Mliswa is responding to criminal charges or criminal allegations. As who? This is a matter which has been reported to Interpol. It has been reported to Interpol, and Interpol now have an obligation to pursue this matter. Interpol now have an obligation to go to ICC and open a case. Interpol now have an obligation to go to the United Nations with this case. So this is a matter where we are going to see the United Nations coming in, the International Criminal Court coming in. So Simba Chikanza must not direct clarity from Susan Mutami. He must direct clarity from the president, so that the president comes and the president answers. After the president answers and after evidence is presented, then we give a conclusion. So at this moment, these are allegations. The word allegations, we don't know if it is true. Somebody is saying it's true, but isisu, we don't. That is the reason why we are using the term allegations. So allegations is the key word, and that must be respected. regarding this case. And I hope that those responsible are going to answer these allegations, not to send Vana Temba Mliswa and so forth. Temba Mliswa, if he wanted to be part of this story, he would have used his privilege as an MP to move a motion to say, Mr. President, I love you, you are my man, I know you are clean, this has been put before you, come to parliament and answer. He would have moved a motion of impeachment against the president. President Vouya, ku parliament, vo answer my allegations, vo clear sitarabo, zobva zvanzaiwa, president vari right, avana kupara makai. Then we all see the evidence, we all see all sides of the story. Susan Mutami comes with her evidence and says, this is the evidence. And the parliament would say, Mr. President, evidence, what did you have to say? And he answers. That is what we expect to see at this moment from Temba Mliswa. Not these shenanigans they are trying to do of responding to something they don't have any jurisdiction. They don't have a jurisdiction to answer on behalf of President Emmerson Mnangagwa. They don't have jurisdiction to seek clarity from Susan Mutami. They have jurisdiction to go and ask the president, can you tell your side of the story? And as the media, you tell your side of the story, and that is the reason why we are always asking, can you please answer? So that we come on this platform and say, Mr. President has answered and said A, B, C, D. We leave it to the people to judge. We are not here to judge. We are here to tell a story as it is given. And Simba Chikanza is now in the judgment mode. He has gotten into the judgment mode. So if we are to judge, we don't believe that Simba Chikanza is doing justice. Okay, and I agree that Simba Chikanza must be asking the president, but Ari Kuchka, Namo Chikanza noted, thanks. Lord Baelish, unfortunately, in our Zim, victims suffer the most, while the perpetrators roam free. Yes, I agree with you. If you listen to Temba Mliswa, he is saying we need to protect ourselves from these ladies. The fear from this lady, from these ladies, it means they fear that what Susan Mutami is doing is going to give room and the courage to most ladies who have suffered to come out and say something or speak something about abuse and so forth. That is their fear. So Team Zimbabwe, I don't want to take much time on this. Thank you very much for coming. Simba should be calling the president up to maintain what he portrays himself to be. Yes, that is what we are asking. Call the president, speak to the president, hear the side of the president, not the side of Temba Mliswa. Side Temba Mliswa ranga pindura. Number one, Nyayama twins, Temba Mliswa should answer that issue or should ask Nyayama twins. And I believe that Susan Mutami spoke about it, Nyayama twins, properly. So I don't believe that Temba Mliswa need to wear the jacket of say, I'm going to pindura na president. Don't pick papa. Ben Madzura zvanzi manje panyaya yerep ku International Criminal Court vanokunyudza nyaya yerep unonyura nyangwe pasina evidence. Vanhu vari kutosungwa pama-rape cases akaitika 40 to 60 years. Basically, I don't believe kuti pane pasina evidence. Chinoitika ndechekuti evidence inenge iripo nguva zhinji, but vanhu vanoitora lightly. There is evidence inenge ichitoripo, but people take it lightly. Munhu paunenge uchinzi come and answer the allegations against you, you must. Because what will happen ndezvekuti one day munhu uyu achafa. This person alleging anogona kufa. In the case yekuti afa, what is going to happen is that her word is going to be used against you. You won't go see and you'll be asked, Paka zvitaura, why did you not respond? Wakarambire wakanyarara, wakatumire vanhu kumataka. Why iwe wairambire wakanyarara vanhu vachimataka in your name? And when you see those things happening, it's because of the silence inenge yaitika, the defending inenge yaitika. Lord Baelish, that's true, my bro. Ask Ara Kelly and Bill Cosby. So basically, Team Zimbabwe, thank you very much for coming. I have run out of time. I would have wanted to take it much longer, but I've run out of time. Sanga Sanganeka Monday, 9 p.m. Guys. let's talk about the PVO bill, because it is a very important bill. We need to cover it and talk about it. I will bring it here so that we discuss more about it. So let me prepare the evidence or the information regarding that bill so that we can discuss that information on the screen. I hope my system is going to allow me, and my network is going to also allow me put that information on the screen to discuss. And let's come at 9 p.m. to that discussion. Please come in your numbers. Let's just subscribe. Let's just ring the notification bell so that you don't miss out time live. So if you want to come here live and present or tell your story, the number is on the screen. It's appearing on the screen. Use that number to request for an interview with us, and we will interview you on the best topic. So thank you very much for coming. Signing out, my name is Ronald Makusha. 9 p.m. Tichitaura about PVO bill. It's a very important bill. You don't need to miss it. So please come, and also make sure that you'll be able to share it to as many people as possible.